Okay, so when most of you see a question like the one written here, you don't hesitate at all. You know exactly what to do. And you say, well, Miss Wright, that means that this x is actually a 2. So this becomes 8 times 2, which is 16. And we're subtracting 4 from this, which gives us 12. Easy peasy. Well, what's this big scary function notation saying? With function notation, we get a little fancier. We say something like f, as in function, of an input x equals this rule. Okay? And once you have this rule, I can ask this question here in a much simpler way. I can simply ask, what is f of 2? Okay, so that's asking the same question we just did right here. I'm saying if x is equal to this value for this particular rule or relationship, what will my output be? So when you're working with function notation, I don't want you to be scared of it. So basically, that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to set up the rule, but since we no longer have an x here, we're replacing it with a 2, we have to do the same thing in the rule. And just to be careful, it's always a good idea to put parentheses wherever that variable used to be before you plug in your new value. Now when you're simplifying this, you don't need to do anything on the left. This is just a fancy notation for that number we're putting in and the output we get from function f. So we're just going to leave it the exact way that it is. What we're going to do on the right is simplify using order of operations. So multiplication, 8 times 2, and then subtraction, 16 minus 4. And we get 12, which is the exact same thing you probably were able to do in your head up here. Okay, so let's try another example. Let's say I give you the function f of x equals negative 8x plus 10. And the question you're going to be asked is to find f of 4. Okay, so let's set this up. Everything is going to remain the exact way you see above. The only difference is that instead of an x, we now have a 4. And we're going to make sure to put parentheses around it. Sorry, I forgot I like color. Okay. All we do is simplify the right side, just like we would have done with that first example. So negative 8 times 4 has to be done first. And then we add 10. They have different signs, so we find their difference, which is 22. And the sign of the larger is negative. So then you would say that f of 4, or the output of the function f when x equals 4, is negative 22. Okay, we could use this same rule just to do a new one. So what if I said, what's f of, I don't know, negative 1? Okay, so again, sometimes I just write the equation and then go back and either erase x or just I think I've seen some of you in class kind of do this number where you kind of write above or below what it is that it's equal to. Whatever works for you is fine. And we simplify from there. Watch your negative sign. So negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. And then we have the plus 10, which is going to give us an answer of 18. And that's how you evaluate functions algebraically.